Let's get over to Prot Warrior discussion. Let's get over this. Let's just bring this on over. DragonFlight talent trees. Now, another thing of beauty. No, Mom. Okay. Is this right here. Oh my god. I am absolutely in love with this, and for the purposes of this, we are actually going to swap on over my face over here, out of the way, because it's just way easier to kind of deal with. There we go. The widget. The widget as well has to move on over. Let's go. We're getting stances back as warriors. Guys, we're getting stances back. We're going to be able to start stance dancing again. I am so excited for this. Oh my god. Okay, so Skullbender hype. You say this. Okay. Yeah, stances. Battle stance, defensive stance, berserker stance. We're getting stances back. And it's on a 3-second cooldown, so this is not going to be as easy stance dancing, but especially on like longer for Prot Warrior at least for longer taunt raid bosses. So like let's say it's a taunt swap like Vigilant Guardian, right? It's a taunt swap like every 30 seconds for the main boss. So what you can do is to do more damage, you just swap to Berserker stance, and then right before you know you're going to have to swap off, you hit defensive stance and taunt, and boom, you're done. Like, so much nice. So much nice. Yeah, I can talk, guys. I haven't just been talking all day while I was on vacation and stuff. Dude, yeah! That's just the start of this tree. Just the start. I don't know what I'm going to do for YouTube yet, but I need to be covering this. I might take this. I might just go through it and make a YouTube. All abilities are locked behind stances. Yes, they are. So it is the first thing you have to take on the class tree. Now, as a Prot Warrior, you automatically start with defensive stance, which is perfectly fine. Arms, you start with battle stance. And Fury, you automatically start with berserker stance, which is a very nice way to look at it. I'm completely fine with this. Completely fine with this. So first row is battle stance, defensive stance. I just saw defensive stance. I never even looked to see what it did. A defensive combat state that reduces all damage you take by 20% and all damage you deal by 10%. I love it. Battle stance. Balanced combat state increases the critical strike chance of your abilities by 3%. No wonder that's on arms. And reduces the effectiveness of moving and parrying effects on you by 15%. Very nice to see. Berserker stance, an aggressive combat stance that increases the damage of your auto attacks by 5% and reduces the effectiveness of fear, sap, and in-cap effects on you by 15%. Very nice. I love to see it. Second row. Fast Footwork increases your movement speed by 5%. This is kind of boring, but I mean, movement speed is nice. Rallying Cry is coming back, which we already knew. Intervene is being a choice node with Second Wind here. This I can see definitely being a more like DPS focused ability over Intervene, so it's a nice choice node. But as Prot Warriors, we're basically always going to take Intervene because, I mean, let's face it, if you look at Second Wind here, like restores 6% health every 1 second when you have not taken damage for 5 seconds. You're a Prot Warrior. When are you not taking damage? That's kind of the point. We're getting Berserker Rage here. Now, this is one thing I don't understand, is this here. So on the second row, we have Berserker Rage. 1 minute cooldown, go Berserk, removing and granting immunity to Fear Sap and in-cap effects for 6 seconds, which we knew was coming. This is a great button when you need to press it, but sucks. But it's useless if there's nothing going on. So like in Mist of Tyrna Scythe, if the boss lasts too long and you get feared, super nice. Aside from that, not super nice. Right? There's a couple of times where this is a great utility. But this is going to be highly situational. But here it says the same thing, like instant require. You have the same button here. I don't know. No, it was already 1 minute in. It's already 1 minute in. At least for Prot Warrior in live, it is 1 minute. Let's take a look at this. Well, I do have. Yeah, it's 1 minute. It's the exact same thing. Exact same thing. But this one here I really, really like. Siphoning Strikes, increase leech by 5%. And this is just some of the start of the survivability of Prot Warrior. We're getting double time back, more charges, let's go. We're getting Inspiring Presence, the Conduit, for the increased rallying duration and health granted. Very nice. Spell Reflect is being a class-wide utility. Very nice, although this is going... Do note that Prot Warriors, this is going back up to 25 seconds from its passive leeches and maze balls. I know, and it's going to get so much better, just you wait. Spell Reflection is going to be 25 seconds instead of 20 seconds for Prot Warrior again, but with everything that we're getting, it's completely fine. And then we're getting Heroic Leap. Super nice, love to see it, all around great. Then we go on to the next row, Honed Reflexes. Cooldown of Pummel, Shield Slam, Overpower, and Bloodthirst are reduced by 1.5 seconds. So basically, your kick is being reduced by 1.5 seconds, and whatever spec ability is unique to you, being Shield Slam, Overpower, or Bloodthirst. Very nice, love seeing it. We are getting a choice node of Stormbolt or Titanic Throw. I actually do really like Titanic Throw, I'm not going to lie. But having to choose between Stormbolt and Titanic Throw actually is kind of relevant, and this is gonna be a big choice. Not that one is wrong or one is worse. It's kind of what you want, but I really already like Heroic Throw, the kind of base version where you throw. It actually does generate a decent amount of threat. So being able to throw an enemy at your attacker and causing physical damage to 5 enemies nearby instead of 1 is super nice. 6-second cooldown, and it generates high threat. So this is something that a warrior can do, can just be like, oh, that 5-pack over there? Whack! All of you are mine. And it's instant ranged threat. And I really, really like this option. And Stormbolt is a 30-second, 4-second stun. I like it, but I'm going to choose Titanic Throw here, and we're going to talk why later, but I mean, I have no testing. We're going to see what happens. We are getting Impending Victory or Piercing Howl. Very, very nice options there. And as well, Furious Blows, your damage of Bloodthirst, Slam, Shield Slam, and Whirlwind are increased by 10%. That one I like. We're actually going to have to avoid the Shattering Throw Bounding Stride node here. Now, this is something I'm just thinking. I have no idea. I can't actually get in and test here, but there's a lot of fun stuff to pick. Too much fun stuff to pick. But Seismic Reverberations, the legendary, we're getting that bet. We're getting it in. This is actually a solid legendary for Prot Warrior. Like, currently in live, this is really good. The reason why this isn't the pick is quite literally because Reprisal is just too goddamn good. So that's it. So if you haven't heard of Seismic Reverberation, if Whirlwind hits 3 or more enemies, it hits them 1 additional time for 50%. Oh no, they changed it. Oh no, I'm not excited anymore. Oh, or Revenge, Protection Warrior, or Revenge. I'm excited. I went from not excited to back excited. Let's go. Or Revenge hits 3 or more enemies, it hits them 1 additional time for 50% damage. That's so fucking cool. Let's go. War Machine's coming back as a talent. Your auto attacks generate 50% more rage. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Killing an enemy instantly grants 10 rage and increases your movement speed by 30% for 8 seconds. This is just nice. I like it. It's cool. It's cool. But here we're going to have to take Impending Victory to get to where I want to get to. And a little bit later, Intimidating Shout is coming back with Cacophonous Roar. Intimidating... I can say Cacophonous, but Roar was the problem there for me. Intimidating Shout can withstand 200% more damage without breaking. Super nice ability, a little bit more PvP focused, and not as good for... Unless you're trying to get things out of Sanguine, this is not the greatest ability for that. But Thunderclap is being made available for all classes. That's actually really cool. I like it. Does it deal any more or less damage for... I mean, it has the same tooltip for Arms Fury and Prot, so... And it generates... Oh, Oh! Thunderclap cost rage? Is that what I'm seeing here? That's a big fucking change. Thunderclap costing rage? Ooh... I don't know how I feel about that. Now, I can see this costing rage for Arms and Fury. That I can see. But hopefully it does not cost rage for protection, because we already have so many things to spend our rage on. It's actually incredible. The next talent choice here is Rend, or... Oh, yeah, we're getting Rend back. Or Pain and Gain. Pain and Gain, when you take any damage, you heal for 4.5% of your maximum health. This can only occur once every 10 seconds. This is the anima focus conduit or whatever that automatically heals you when you take damage, although I think it's on a 30-second cooldown. It might be 10. I can't remember. Let's take a look. I don't even know if I have it slotted in right now. Yeah, it's once every 10 seconds. So it's basically the exact same thing, except at 278 it's 5%. But we have so many ways to heal ourselves, it's actually unreal. I love the fact we're getting Rend back. Really, really like it. Warriors, all warriors, even prot warriors are getting Execute back at 35% or below. Love to see it. Armor to the Teeth, you gain strength equal to 10% of your armor value. This is actually, low-key, kind of a really good conduit, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later, and, well, I can talk about it now. Because there is a conduit that actually gives you armor based on your strength. So, a conduit, a talent, sorry. I'm still stuck in Shadowlands, man. Woo! So, the fact that both play off each other, the more strength that you have, the more armor that you get, and the more armor that you have, the more strength that you get, this is really solid. There's a nice feedback loop there that is just so good. One of the favorite, and this is one of the things I asked for in my DragonFlight video, is the fact that we're getting Blood and Thunder back. Increases the damage of your Thunderclap by 10%, and whenever you Thunderclap a target affected by your Rend, you also affect 5 nearby targets with Rend. God, I love this so much. This was a playstyle in Cataclysm that I loved playing around. My God. And that is on a choice node with Crackling Thunder. Crushing Force is coming back. Now, this is going to be too good not to take, so you're going to have to take War Machine, I presume. I'm just kind of picking some talents as we go around. I already have kind of a tree built in my head based on what I seen yesterday, but is what it is. But the damage of Shield Slam being increased by 25%, bruh, like, give it. Give it! Overwhelming Rage, this is kind of... I can see this being good for, like, especially for Fury, so you can bank a little bit of extra rage, being at 130 instead of 120 at 100. For Prot Warrior and, like, for Prot and Arms, you're probably, like, you almost never really hit 100, but I mean, it is what it is. But the talents underneath it are what I want. This is so fucking exciting. I love this. Die by the Sword, 2-minute cooldown. Increases your parry chance by 100% and reduces all damage you take by 30% for 8 seconds. Being made available to all classes, including Prot. Dude, this is one of the best cooldowns in the game. This is so good. Like, and I can't wait. I can't wait. Die by the Sword. So exciting. Then on a choice node in the middle here, we're getting One-Handed Specialization and Dauntless Duelist. Now, I think Dauntless Duelist here being a choice node where it's kind of the Ventier ability or whatever, so the first enemy you damage in combat is marked as your adversary, so it's basically whoever you hit charge on. You'll deal 3% more damage to them, and they deal 1.5% less damage to you. You may only have one adversary at a time. This could be good for Prot Warrior, I think, and like super single target raid encounters. Like, it's just literally, this is it. It's a straight percent 3% damage DR, right? Which will add up over time. But this one-handed specialization of increasing leech by 10% and getting 15% base leech as a Prot Warrior, dude, this is going to be so good. So good. Frothing Berserkers. Your abilities that cost rage have a 20% chance to immediately refund 20% of the rage spent. Honestly, this is a good way to save rage for Prot Warrior. I love this to death. Then we get over to the last, right? We get over into the bottom portion of the tree where things just keep getting more exciting. Cruel Strikes, not actually very exciting. Critical Strike chance increased by 2%. I think, is that per? Yeah, so that's per talent option, per talent point spent. Whatever, not super happy fun time, but I don't really care. Reinforced Plates increases your armor by 30% of your strength. So this goes up to 60, but if you take this armor to the teeth, You see how these two have great synergy with one another? Like, I fucking love it. I love it! Sorry, endurance training increases your stamina by a bunch. These are kind of... These ones here are, like, the most boring row. I will admit. Right, this is definitely the most boring row in the class tree, but I mean, you have to... If you're gonna have a boring row, this is really not super terrible. Increases your haste by 2%, so that's 4% total. Super nice. This last row, things start getting exciting again. We have... Two-handed weapon specialization increases your damage dealt by using a single two-handed weapon by 5. Allow... I don't know what whip allow dual wields mean. If anybody gets that, please let me know. But I mean, this is obviously, you know, your arms and fury. That's kind of what you're going to go after. Not as much for Prot Warrior, which whatever. Work in progress. Work in progress! Thank you very much. Spear of Bastion's coming back on a 1-minute cooldown. I mean, generates 25 rage, whatever. I'm not super excited for this coming back, but also at the same time, I don't give a shit because we're getting so much cool stuff. Avatar is coming back, 1.5-minute cooldown. Ye fucking ha. Love it. Take it. Go for it. Bitter immunity. This is one thing that, okay, 3-minute cooldown, whatever. It's long. Who cares? Restore 20% of health instantly and removes all diseases, poison, curses, bleeds affecting you. Oh my god. Prot Warriors so desperately needed something. Okay? So desperately needed something, and I'm happy that it's there. 3 minutes might seem a little long, and I'll agree. That's fine. But it's something. Okay? That's the point. It's something. Yeah, but why not stack it on top? Especially in Mythic Plus. 3-minute cool... Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, exactly. But, I mean, you can get both of them, right? Not? Like, honestly, here's the thing. Straight up, let's honest time. If they make cross-faction guilds, I'm swapping pretty much all of my tanks to Dark Iron that can be Dark Iron, including my Warrior. I do not give a shit. That Dwarf Racial is so fun to press and so awesome to have that if I can have Bitter Immunity end this, oh my god, let's go to town. Let's go. Or I can look cool and be an elf. Shockwave is coming back at a 40-second base cooldown. Now, if I'm not mistaken, isn't Shockwave a 45? No, it's 40 seconds now. Alright. Tells you how long I actually play with Shockwave. Or know much about it. Swap to Mecha Gnome like a Chad. Dude, there's no fucking way in hell you can ever get me to swap to Gnome. Shockwave for all specs. Yeah, that's the thing. For Warrior, this is kind of unexciting. For Prot Warrior. For Arms and Fury, this is obviously very, very exciting. Great pick. And then Rumbling Earth being a capstone there. I mean, is what it is. It's nice synergy with one another. If you really... So this is... When Shockwave strikes at least 3 targets, his cooldown is reduced by 15%. 15% means 15 seconds. That was the sole reason why you stopped playing BFA Warrior. I can understand that. So Shockwave being on a 25-second cooldown, if you hit 3 targets, dude, this is a great utility for Fury and Arms. You're going to have a lot of stuns. This is one that I'm crazy excited for. Thundering Roar. Work in progress, 2BD, but if this is anything like it says now, I'm actually kind of excited for it. Roar explosively in a 16-yard frontal cone, causing 50% of attack power physical damage, and causing enemies to bleed for 30% of attack power physical damage over 9 seconds. I love this. Then we have the dual wield specialization, so you increase your damage while dual wielding by 5%. That's obviously meant for Fury. But we take Thundering Roar, and then Thundering Roar Aftershocks. This I like. Thundering Roar knocks enemies down, causes 2 Aftershocks that deal damage, and each Aftershock generates 2 rage per target hit. I love this. A group kick and a group knockback. Oh my god, that's so good. That's so good. Right, and then we have 2 more points to spare. And it's basically you can go down whatever utility you want, right? Like, this is what I foresee the build being. Unfortunately, Shockwave for Prot Warriors is just not an Elysian Might. I just don't see. Unless Spear of Bastion is tuned super highly for damage, I just don't see Prot Warriors really taking it that much. And we have so many different options and buttons. Like, I'm actually curious as a Prot Warrior now, with all of the buttons that we have now, Where are they going to put more buttons? Dude, I don't know how many more keybinds I can create. And I have a 12-button mouse. I have so many things to click. All of the time. Now, this is kind of like, I don't want this to sound like a complaint, because it's not. I'm crazy fucking happy with this tree. But, I mean, we now have a lot of goddamn buttons to hit. We have so many buttons to hit. But we do have options like endurance training, which I think is going to be pretty much mandatory in pretty much any higher end content for greater SAM. So let's just put the 2 buttons in there. But this is the tree I had kind of done up. But if you do want unstoppable force on this bottom... Okay, so on the bottom 4, sorry, I didn't actually do the bottom row because I got too excited about Thunderous Aftershocks. Elysian Might. Spear of so this is the current legendary to increase the Spear of Bastion by 8 seconds and your critical strike damage by 25, or Piercing Verdict. Spear of Bastion's instant damage and rage generation are increased by 30%. I really don't understand why they put a conduit versus a legendary there. Like, that one seems a little weird to me. You think the overall abilities will be lower? No, not a chance. We're getting way more abilities. Like, we are actually getting so many more abilities. Just on this one tree alone, like, okay, we lost Shockwave, we're gaining Rend, Die by the Sword, Thunderous Roar, that's a passive, Impending Victory, that's still the same, we're gaining Titanic Throw, which is not to lot, so just on this class tree alone, we've lost 1 button and gained 4. Ultimate Bot, I promise you that's going to happen. Yeah. So we lost 1 button, which is an optimal talent out of, and we gained 4 buttons. With Thunderous Roar, Die by the Sword, Rend, and what was the other one? There was another one. I promise you there was another one, and I'm just being derpy right now. But whatever. We gained 4. Yeah. No, dude, I promise I probably will develop Carbolt Tunnel along the way. See, Unstoppable Force here as an option, as a choice note as well, versus Signet and Tormented Kings. You're never taking Tormented Kings on, well, that's the thing, right? You kind of got a flex point. You're never taking Tormented Kings, but Unstoppable Force. If Unstoppable Force costs Rage, you're never... if Thunderclap actually costs Rage for Prot Warrior, you're never taking Unstoppable Force. It's just not going to happen. It's way too much Rage to blow through that much that fast. You just won't have the generation. I think. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think. If Thunderclap is tuned well enough and does damage, and does not cost any Rage, Unstoppable Force is a fantastic option to take. And Bitter Immunity is pretty much going to be mandatory in any Mythic Plus scenario where, like, if you're going into a Halls of Atonement type scenario dungeon and you're not taking Bitter Immunity, you're definitely handicapping yourself, right? Like, this is so good for things like that. And having the extra heal, super nice. But this is, you got a couple flex points and a couple things that you can change around and move around with. But dude, I'm so happy with how this looks for Prot Warrior. But as well, you know, you can go and take Berserker Rage for the specific dungeons that you need it there. You can swap enough things around without totally handicapping yourself, but gaining great utility. And I really, really like that. But there is also a reason why I'm stacking so many of the bleeds in this class tree. There is a reason, and that's this next thing of beauty, which is the protection tree. So, let me take a drink, because I'm already starting to kind of feel a little raspy, and I'm not even close to being done this stream. Oh, ignore pain. Obviously, come on, really? Whoever thought. 1 second cooldown, I hope that's still off the GCD. We have Revenge, Demo Shout, Devastate, and Last Stand. A thing to notice about Last Stand, it is a 2-minute cooldown. It is currently 3 on live without the Bolster talent. You're all hyped about a more passive build for Prot. But dude, look at all the passives that we got in here, man! Overwhelming Rage, Frothing Berserker, Endurance Training. We got so many great passives in here already. Like, it's fantastic. I do like something that's very, very engaging, but that's just me. Under Demo Shout, we have the option for Booming Voice and Best Served Cold. Under Under Devastate, we have the option for Strategist, where Devastate, Thunderclap, Revenge, and Execute have a 30% chance to reset the remaining cooldown of Shield Slam. That is great. Under Last Stand, we have Brace for Impact, which is a new talent that is passive. Using Shield Slam increases your block value by 10%, and the damage of your Shield Slam by 10% as well for 9 seconds. And this is definitely going to be an easy thing to upkeep. I'm assuming Shield Slam is now baseline, right? We're getting the Unnerving Focus back. Last Stand increases your Rage Generation by 60%. This is going to be even stronger if we're feeling Rage Starved. Like, I don't know how things are going to go on with like the expansion as it kind of develops, but I think at the start of the expansion, warriors are going to feel fairly Rage Starved, so this is going to be like probably a great pick. And then as we're feeling less Rage Starved with more gear, this will probably maybe fall off, but it all depends on its strength, right? Because we're getting a lot of baseline talents back that kind of just increase a lot of rage. So this is definitely one I'm glad to see back. I really, really am, especially pairing it with a 2-minute cooldown instead of 3. Fantastic. Then we have Booming Voice coming around with Best Served Cold. These are 2 really good spots. But this is kind of all fairly basic, right? Fairly basic, but pretty strong. It's kind of what you expect from Prot Warrior. Then things start getting even funner in the Prot Warrior tree. Challenging Shout taunts all enemies within 10 yards to attack you for 6 seconds on a 2-minute cooldown. Yeah, you need a minimum 25% haste for Prot Warrior. 2-minute cooldown for Challenging Shout. No longer 4, it's going down to 2. I love it. Yes. We're getting the Devastator talent back, so if you want to swap your Devastate over to the Devastator, and you get more Shield Slam resets, very, very nice. This will also give you 1 less button to press, especially because like Devastate it deals damage, but it doesn't generate any rage. Like, it's just something you can hit for free, but it doesn't do anything for you, so it's nice, but at the same time, wah wah wah. We're getting Parry, so this will go up to 3%. This will go up to 3% Parry if that's what you're after. Kind of weak, but I mean, whatever. Choose one, so we have a new node. Bloodborne. Whoop. Bleed damage of Deep Wounds, Rend, and Thunderous Roar increased by 15%. Now, this will affect tuning, right? This is going to be based on tuning, but another reason why I don't have a point in Unnerving Focus yet is you can have several options here. You can go with Bloodborne to increase all of that bleed damage that we talented into here and automatically have Deep Wounds, because I think that's going to be a passive for... From what I see by this tree, I think Deep Wounds is a passive for Prot Warrior that we're just getting. And Blood Surge. Your periodic bleed effects have a chance to grant you 5 rage. Proc chance is 25%. If you've got 3 bleeds out on all mobs in Mythic Plus, this is so strong. If you're feeling rage starved, this could Blood Surge could actually be crazy for you, just to keep the rage gen going. And this is the reason with Blood Surge that I don't have Unnerving Focus, because this could actually generate us... Bro, yeah! Yeah! That is so crazy strong. I think this could have us swimming in rage, but we're going to have to see what happens here. Then we have Fueled by Violence. You're healed for 30% of the damage dealt by Deep Wounds. This is, unfortunately, with Deep Wounds right now in Shadowlands, it does feel slightly mediocre. And by slightly mediocre, I mean it doesn't feel great to take. Your Indomitable is going to do way more healing than Fueled by Violence. But we're also going to have 15% leech with this build. Right? 15% leech. And if you do want more healing and you're not feeling rage starved to the point where you don't need Blood Surge, you can take Bloodborne, increasing the damage of your Deep Wounds by 15%, which means you get more of 30%, right? You get an extra little bit of healing from that. So that's really, really nice. I do like this a lot. And Shield Wall is kind of the middle talent here. Now, if you like, this is the one thing that I find really, really weird with this tree versus other trees. And weird in a good way, right? Look how all nodes, no matter where you go, what you take in this tree, You have every way to get to shield wall. There's no way, there's no pathing you can go or take where you do not get access to shield wall, and I think that's fucking brilliant. I actually think that's brilliant. Super good. Now, we're getting an improved challenging show. Taunt all enemies within 12 yards versus 10 yards. It's built to look like a shield. Yeah! I actually didn't notice that. Yeah! Way to go, Sminicus! That's actually fucking really fucking perceptive. And interrupts all spellcasting within 12 yards and prevents any school. This is a 2-minute mass kick for Prot Warrior. 2-minute mass kick. 6 seconds. This is going to be too good at Mythic Plus. It's going to be so good, and this is something that you don't even need to take at all. Like, you do not need to take this for rating. Right? So you have so many different options that you can take here. This is fucking awesome. Show of Force is coming back, which is a current conduit. Revenge damage increased by 10%, which is an additive. Yeah, Warrior Divine Toll. Except it's 2 minutes instead of 40 seconds. But I'll take it! I will absolutely take it for Mythic Plus in all scenarios. So this will increase the damage of Revenge by 10%, which is notable, or whatever have you not. Because Show of Force currently does not do that. Revenge just increases the damage of your next Thunderclap, right? So not as good. Actually, this is better. So live is not as good, but this is better. But the problem right now is Thunderclap just doesn't do enough damage. So Thunderclap damage needs to be scaled up. I think you just found out what you're making. Arms is gonna be, yeah, Arms is looking great. Prot is fucking looking crazy. I am actually in love with this tree. It's just a matter of tuning how things feel, right? Show of Force is coming back, and we're getting Thunderlord, the current legendary that was the best for Mythic Plus. It's in Season 1 when Shadowlands launched before the Reprisal rework. If anybody played Prot Warrior, you'll know how shitty this was in single target. Each enemy hit by Thunderclap reduces the remaining cooldown of Demo Shout by 1.5 seconds up to 4.5 seconds. So this is capped at 3, which kind of sucks. This kind of sucks. It increases the radius of your Demo Shout by 5 yards as well. So it goes from 10 yards to 15 yards, which is really, really nice. But most of the time when you're using Demo Shout, it's like after everything's all grouped up. So, I mean, whatever have you not. This is going to come down to tuning for Thunderlord with how good, like, how often you want to hit Thunderclap and shit like that right now. Like, right now I click it when I'm starting to feel rage-starved. And I need rage. Like, that's pretty much the only reason I hit it. I sit on Thunderclap a lot. It kind of is what it is, though. But definitely some interesting choices here. I think this is kind of the intent is Mythic Plus focus, but then you have heavy repercussions. We're just going to do this block by block, right? Which is a fantastic challenge. I'm about to make a prediction how many times you'll cream your pants over this tree. Dude, you do not have a number high enough in your head. You seriously don't. Like, I don't think you have a number that can go high enough. Because I'm already in, like, fucking triple digits here, about And Into the Phrase coming back. I think this is a great challenge node. I think this is just a great choice node. Right? So, 2% haste for every enemy and ally within 10 yards, up to 10% haste. This is a great talent to have, especially if you're a little under geared. And then when you are geared and you have more than enough haste, you can go with heavy repercussion for those heavier, the heavier hits and, being a little bit sturdier. But Shield Slam generates 3 more rage and extends the duration of shield block by 1 second. Honestly, great choice node. Fantastic. Then we go over to the middle block, which you already covered the top. Shield Wall, love it. Then choose one here. So anger management's in the middle. This is going to be an obvious all the time pick. Let's face it, guys. You're going to be taking anger management, right? And then the choice to the left of that is enduring defensives. Shield block lasts 2 seconds longer. Now, can anybody tell me how long did they change shield block for DragonFlight? I did look pretty quickly in the on Wowhead, but I didn't see kind of like what are the baseline abilities that Prot Warrior's getting, right? Or just Warrior's getting, like, what's baseline across all specs type of deal? So if anybody doesn't mind telling me that, is it the exact same? Should still be 6 seconds by default. Okay, perfect. That's perfectly fine. That's where I want it to be, right? Like, at least it stays default as long as they don't reduce. As long as they don't reduce the cooldown of shield block to make up for this talent point is where I'm happy. But shield block lasts 2 seconds longer. Like, come on, bro. Oh, I didn't even. No, we're going block by block. That's right. So you're getting enduring defensive. Shield block lasts 2 seconds longer. And you're going to be able to do more shield slams with more resets to increase the duration of that shield block by 1 second. So having an 8-second baseline shield block is going to feel so good. Going to feel so good. And then we have the choice node of Unbreakable Will, where Shield Wall gains 1 additional charge and grants 50% of its effects to all party members. And I do want to note that the base cooldown of Shield Wall here is 3.5 minutes. Which is currently 4 minutes on live, except we have this ability right here. The duration of Shield Wall is reduced by 44 seconds. Now this is a 278 conduit, which brings it down to 3.3 minutes. So they are on DragonFlight just reducing the base cooldown of Shield Wall by 30 seconds. This is already a buff just by taking this, which is great. So Unbreakable Will is great. You'll have 2 charges of Shield Wall. And you'll also have the wall. Shield Slam generates an additional 5 rage and reduces the remaining cooldown of Shield Wall by 5 seconds. Honestly, I think we're going to be taking the wall. I think we're going to be taking the wall here. I think that's going to be the better all-around pick. Unless a fight encounter is designed to have... let's say if there's 2 back-to-back really big hits, like 20 to 30 seconds apart, but they only occur like once every 3 minutes in a fight, that would be great for Unbreakable Will. But I think most of the time we're just going to be opting for the wall. Then we go over to the last one. Man, this tree's so fucking good. This tree's so fucking good. We'll make them actually overlap instead of having a couple 8 to 10 seconds of a dead time for recharge of shield block. Yeah, dude. Absolutely. Spike Shield. This one, I just love this one. This is something like, if you've got the Bulwark of Azeroth, you know, the big motherfucker shield, and you got the spikes on it, I am 100% taking this talent and mogging my shield for that to make me feel like I'm living the class fantasy of just a warrior with a big spike shield that anybody that even comes near me is getting just pummeled for even daring coming near me. I love it so much. This is so good. Bolster is coming back as a talent, except it's going to change a little bit from it does on now. So Last Stand cooldown is reduced by 10 seconds, so it'll be 1.5 minutes. Which I feel that's kind of weak, but they have to add something, because right now it's 1 minute reduction on Last Stand, but Last Stand's also 3 minutes, so them dropping this down to 2 minutes, you obviously can't bring Last Stand down to 1 minute, it'd be insane. But it grants you the effect of shield block for its duration, and you're pairing this with Heavy Repercussions, right? Which is something you can't do on live right now, if I'm not mistaken, because Heavy Rep and Bolster are on the same talent. So the fact that we can literally take all 3 of these simultaneously, this is gonna feel so good! It's gonna feel so good! I love this so much. Now here we have Improved Heroic Throw. Heroic Throw inflicts deep wounds, and we have the Brutal Vitality Conduit making a comeback, where a portion of your damage you deal adds to your active Ignore Pain. Depending on the actual kind of feeling of how Ignore Pain's gonna work. Oh, by the way, I never even looked at Ignore Pain on here. Okay. Okay, is what it is. I think this is gonna be a choice node that we're going to... Bolster talent never used to be the gap filler for the downtime of shield block. Yeah, it used to be. And I just don't see downtime. If you've got Bolster, Heavy Repercussions, and an 8-second shield block, there's almost no downtime on shield block at all. Like, it's play it right and you easily have excuse me, and you easily have full uptime on shield block. Really, really nice. And then we have Punish, Choice Node, or Juggernaut. So Juggernaut is the current Ashen is the current conduit in game here. For those of you who do not know, Ashen Juggernaut. I knew it had Ashen in it. So execute increases the critical strike of your next execute. We're getting that as a choice node, but we're also getting punish in that choice node as well. So do you want to kind of just your shield slams to be juicier by 20%? And reduce your enemy's damage against you by 3% for 9 seconds. Multiple punishments may overlap. So this is just adding an extra DR to your shield slam, which is actually not a bad ability to take. It's really not. Devastator, it's just with how good Devastator is right now. Like, you don't play Punish, but that doesn't make Punish a bad talent to take. It's just how good Devastator feels, right? And the fact that we're getting both of these simultaneously, dude, Prot Warrior is going to be cracked as fuck. Then we have, boom, going down, the next one. So this one here is kind of, it's your boring stuff, right? After your first 20, you start getting access to boring stuff, but then you start getting access to really, really fun stuff down here. So Enduring Alacrity increases stamina and armor by 5% and your haste by 2%. And this will, is this doubled up? Like, what's going on here? So this is stamina and armor by 10% and your haste by 2%. So, I mean, whatever. Is what it is, right? Shield Specialization, your block chance is increased by 6% and your block value by 15%, and this goes up to block chance 12% and your block value increases by 15%. This is, I know this is boring. It is, and it's on the first talent row currently. Like, that's the thing, right? Punish is right here. It's a 15 choice talent. And literally, like, as of right now with this tree, you're going to be able to choose the entire 15 row for Warrior. War Machine, Punish, and Devastator, you can have all three at once. The entire 50 row for Warrior. Anger Management, Heavy Rep, and Bolster, you're going to be able to have all three at once. This is insanely strong. Absolutely fucking wild. And basically, you're going to be able to choose the entire 30 row as well, because you're going to be able to use Best Served Cold, Booming Voice, and let's face it, Thunderous Roar is basically just a change on Dragon Roar, right? Like, this is becoming Thunderous Roar. That's what's happening. But the amount of talents we're going to be able to take is actually crazy. So, shield spec there. Focus Vigor increases your strength and armor by 5% and your crit chance by 2%. And I think at 2 points, this comes back to 10% again. This is a new ability coming down just below the first one on the left. Shield Charge. Now, this one has a range just like... well, and that's the thing. If tuned right? Because it all matters for tuning, right? It's kind of... I can't judge... And when I get excited about these trees, like, I've seen people be like... Or like, talk to me or, like, comment on my YouTube or whatever that are like, dude, Prot Paladin's gonna suck. I can't believe you're excited for that tree. It's an old Legion ability? Yeah. Oh, okay. Fuck, that's funny. Not the Conduit? Oh, yeah, no, this one here. No, I remember. There is, I remember seeing a Juggernaut. I do remember, yeah. The stacking execute damage? But I've been accused of being, like, hyped for the Prot Paladin tree where they say it's gonna suck. No, the Prot Paladin tree was great. The problem with the Prot Paladin tree is it removes so many of your talent options by removing Holy Power Generation off Avenger's Shield. It's not that the tree sucked, it's that the changes that they made to some of the base kit sucked. Like, there's a difference. And I can't comment on tuning on how class feels, because I can't play it, but I can just look at the tree and be like, this feels good, this feels bad, right? Vengeance in the Warrior tree is a capstone ability. Honestly, I don't hate the capstone abilities at all for this. I'm kind of fine. But Shield Charge. So we're getting an extra charge. So in total, we're going to be able to have 3 charges. Yeah, I think if you want to go more DPS, Burn Excitor, you take Juggernaut. And for a raid fight, I mean, dude, it all depends. If you need more Execute, right? If execute damage isn't important in that specific raid fight, you're gonna go Punish, because Shield Slam hits like a fucking brick. It already does. And with the amount of things that we've taken to increase Shield Slam damage, you're gonna get more consistent Shield Slam damage throughout an entire raid fight than you will with Ashen Juggernaut. But if execute is absolutely what matters for you getting through a fight, you fucking take Ashen Juggernaut and you take Massacre. Like, absolutely. There's definitely fun things to play around with that can really, matter. But shield charge, I don't know, this to me sounds so fun. Charge to an enemy with your shield, dealing 200% attack power, physical damage, and physical damage to all enemies within 10 yards. Literally, you start a pull off with shield charge, you stun your primary target for 4 seconds, and you immediately hit everything within 10 yards. Just for one 45-second ability. I love this. This is going to be so good in Mythic Plus, but I can absolutely understand why this isn't going to be a great raid talent, right? The change of the stacking damage buff. I actually didn't read. Execute increases damage dealt by execute by 3% for 8 seconds. Oh my fuck! I thought this was the conduit as written. It is not. Oh my god! It's just the damage. So you can get a 60% increase. Oh! Zaz, thank you very much, my friend. I totally missed that. I thought this was the conduit as written in Shadowlands. Oh my... Oh, dude. Dude! Man, this tree's sexy. God, this tree's so sexy. Then we're going to go down to Champion's Bulwark. Shield charge grants you shield block. Now, this is what I don't understand. So this is kind of how we're getting our reprisal. You stunned Maz. Good job, Zaz. Yeah, warrior for like 19 years. No, Zaz is one of the best DPS warriors I've ever played with. So absolutely, where I read this, I actually thought it was the crit chance that we were getting back. But the fact that this stacks execute damage is absolutely fucking insane. Which is probably actually going to be the go-to raid pick. This Juggernaut will probably be the go-to raid too, as long as there's any sort of execute whatsoever. Like, if you have another fight like Sylvanas where like the death point is 50%, well, that shit don't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. But if you have any fight with any sort of execute whatsoever, yeah, you're going with Massacre. Like, here we have 2 points, you go Massacre, and then you go Juggernaut, for sure. For sure, you do the 2. But this is how we're getting our... Is Zaz the Chad Arms where you played with a while ago? Yeah. That is him. This is how we're getting our reprisal back, by the way. It's reworked. Shield charge grants you shield block for... This is what I don't understand. For until cancelled. There's going to be a time on this. It's probably going to be like 4 seconds, which is fucking fine. Whatever. It's going to give you a proc of revenge, and it's not going to generate 300 rage. I'm assuming that's a typo, and it means 30. I'm going to say it's 30 rage, but I mean, if they want to give us 300, I'll take it, but let's face it. But this is our version of reprisal. So this is going to make starting pulls as a prot warrior just as safe as it is now, right? You charge into battle with reprisal. So it is also only on shield charge per the text. Exactly. Wondering if it would apply to the other charges. I don't think so. I think charge and shield charge are going to be 2 separate abilities, right? Because you have the 45 seconds there, and then with being able to go into double time, you're going to have so much mobility, and you're going to have charges all the fucking time. You're going to have so many charges as a prot warrior. But shield charge is going to be so good. But this is how we get a reprisal. Femni, how you doing, buddy? You tanked your first Mythic Plus last night? I wanted to thank you because I watched your So You Want to Tank guide to the dungeon. It was so helpful in gaming the Katana conference. Oh, dude, I'm so happy. I'm so happy you tanked your first dungeon, man. That's awesome. Fuck, man. People make me feel so good when they say things like that. I actually, like, it does make me feel really good down here. Love it. So this is honestly something where you can just opt not to take this for raid and still be completely fine. Gambit +2? Dude, it don't matter what it is, dude. Tanking your first Mythic Plus is not easy. Like, there's a lot of things that, you gotta get over. I mean, the first time I ever tanked Mythic Plus, man, my hands were like this the whole time. Like, dude, it's all good. Thank you, Ultimate! Thank you so much. So we are getting the tier set back. of Outburst, consuming 30 rage, grants a stack of Seeing Red, which transforms at 1 stack, I'm assuming this is 8 stacks, into Outburst, causing your next Shield Slam or Thunderclap to be 200% more effective and grant Ignore Pain. We are getting Indomitable and Never Surrender. Now, Never Surrender is... They've reworked this ability, and this is not something I realized at the time, but Never Surrender now, Ignore Pain prevents 40 to 100% more damage based on your missing health, which you never take it because Indomitable is just so fucking good. But Never Surrender now is your block chance is increased by up to 20% based on your missing health. With all the ways that we have to heal each other, I mean... Indomitable might not always be the right play. Might not always, but I think it will because this is up to 20%. So for you to get the full 20%, you're going to have to be hurting. Like, you're going to have to be hurting, and that's the base problem with this talent. So it really is going to depend on block values and block chances, but I'm going to assume Indomitable is still going to be the all-around pick. Zaz! 5-tier subs, man. I love you so much. Thank you so much. Smiticus, you got lucky on your gifted sub this time around, my friend. Rye Guy, it's Hatsu, B-Rob, and Heavy D66. Congrats on your gifted subs. Yeah, you got the little badge, Smiticus. Woo! And then Spell Block! Spell Block! 2-minute cooldown, you're able to block spells cast against you for 14 seconds! Oh, somebody else! Fendi! Congrats on your gifted sub, my friend! Thanks, Zaz. Thank you so fucking much, dude. You are just... so much. But Spell Block! Oh my god! Yay, gifted subs! Yay, Spell Block! I know this is a 2-minute cooldown, but... like, I asked for something like this, right? I asked for, like, Spell Block, Spell Reflection to get some sort of upgrade that, Eat It Paladins, that you could just block spells around and actually fucking live, just being peppered by wicked bolts. Spell Block on a 2-minute cooldown is going to be able to do that for you. Now there is a question of how this works. So it says you're able to block spells cast against you for 14 seconds. Is this during Spell Block uptime? Or is this just a straight up its own fucking thing? But all around, Spell Block sounds fucking awesome. Like, I'm in. I'm so goddamn in Spell Block. But this is gonna be very situational depending on dungeon. Dungeons, like... Let's try and take some different dungeons here. Like, Necrotic Wake, Halls of Atonement, Sanguine Depths, Spell Block is going to be one of your best and most often used talents. But in something like, I don't know, Theater of Pain, there's just not that many spells being cast against you. In fact, most of the spells that we kick in fucking Theater of Pain last season... yeah, that's what it sounds like, but we have to see how it plays. But most, like, Bone Spear has a 20% chance to actually attack you, and most of the time it's just one crank. And one cranked, I have to talk about this dungeon in past tense now. But, I mean, where this is going to be great, this thing's going to be fucking great. But where it's useless, and I love how it's just a talent. You can just, 1 point, and you have it, right? We're going to cover this, okay, I want to talk about this one after, but we're going to go through this last. Then we have Ravager. Now, this is, I'm a little conflicted on Ravager, right? So we have 1 point for Ravager. It generates a bunch of rage. That's great. It deals like no damage currently on live. Let's see here. This is the breakdown of my damage. So it actually dealt 8% of my damage. So question. The real question is if spells can be critically blocked during the uptime. That is a fantastic question. That is a fantastic question, Smiticus. And you know what? I'm going to assume yes. Yeah, ask away about the Valor, my friend. So, I mean, Ravager does deal enough damage at 8%, but we're going to have so many more buttons where I just don't think Ravager is going to find its utility niche. We have so many things to generate rage. You have a 246 shoulder tier set. Now, is this something that you got? You can't upgrade anything from last season, fam. That's what it is. And or if it's the 246 that you bought for the Sandsworn relics, those you cannot upgrade with Valor. It has to be something that you got from Mythic Plus this season. Which, by the way, I haven't even fucking been into a Mythic Plus this season, so we'll see how that goes. But I think Ravager's gonna... Like, I think it's... You're not dropping Ravager for its damage. Yes, it deals damage, and that's great, but you're currently dropping Ravager for its rage generation. No. That's the big thing why you take it, because you need the rage generation. And honestly, if we're not feeling rage-starved, I think this portion of the tree is going to be left out. These options are just too good for Mythic Plus, where in any single target scenario... So if you... No, you cannot upgrade anything bought by Sandsworn Relics, because it has to drop from Mythic Plus for it to be upgradable by Valor. And then the cap here is Ravager's duration is increased by 2%, which is great. Like, that's great. So 14 seconds of Ravager sounds awesome. Now, if this is tuned high enough where Ravager actually slaps, we're going to have to talk about getting down here. But right now, the niche role that Ravager plays with Prot Warrior is Mythic Plus Rage Generation. It's not his damage, it's the Rage Generation of why we take it. And I see way too many great ways of getting... Like, there's just too many good ways right now of getting Rage. This one here, Battle Scarred Veteran. When your health is brought below 35%, you take... Now, has been a little thing here. Battle Scars Veteran displayed the wrong information. It should be a DR of 75% and a duration of 8 seconds. Which I don't care is still incredibly strong. So if I farm Mythic Plus, get drops, and then turn those into tier, yes. You can upgrade them with Valor first, then turn them into tier, or vice versa. But if it dropped from Mythic Plus, you can upgrade it with Valor, not a problem. But this here, so cannot occur more than once every 60 seconds. Dude, this is a pseudo cheat death. Unless you're getting global from 100 to 0, Prot Warrior's damage intake is very slow. Like, you're not getting hit by big things very often. Now, the possibility does currently lie that we have so many defensives, this is never actually needed. Like, we have so many things to DR damage, it's actually crazy that this might not be needed. You know, this just straight up might not be needed. Let's be like... I don't know. But this is a pseudo-cheat death every 60 seconds. Dude! So good. So good. I'm loving this. This is basically going to be an instant take for anybody that's pushing higher end content. Then we have, you know, like, there's so many great things here, but, like, you can swap around. It's like, do you want shield block? Do you want outburst? Do you want best served cold? We have one talent choice left, and I don't think there's a bad option. I think there's just plenty that changes playstyle depending on need and want, right? And even at that, like, we could theoretically take a point at a bolster. We could do that, right? Because if you have enough shield block with heavy repercussions, this would fill in this would definitely fill in the gaps. One more question. You going to do any guides in the new Season 4 dungeons? Yes, I promise you I will. The problem with that currently is I haven't been in a Season 4 dungeon yet. I was on vacation yesterday. I just came back today. I came home. I napped. I came online. I'm immediately talking about DragonFlight talents from Prot Warrior. And I raid tonight, so I don't know what's going to happen. I am going to... I'm seeing this kind of discussion end a little bit quicker here. It's all good. You'll wait. Yeah, no worries. But there's a lot of great options. And you might not need Bolster to the point where you can have 2 different talents to play with, right? Do you want more Rage Generation with an Unnerving Focus? Do you want more Parry? This is actually kind of weak. Don't spend your talent points on this, I think. But Best Serve Cold, great option. If Thunderclap actually does damage, Show of Force, great option. If in Mythic Plus, Thunderlord is literally... This isn't a bad talent point to pick if you got the extra talent point, right? It's not bad, especially if you're taking Booming Voice, because as long as you're in AoE scenarios, every time you Thunderclap, you can reduce the cooldown of Demo Shout by 4.5 seconds. That's just crazy solid. Like, that's just crazy solid. I love this tree. I just think them putting Capstones into Ravager is... For the Capstones in Ravager to kind of be worthwhile enough to take, Ravager has to fucking slap. Like, Ravager would just absolutely have to slap. Just stupid damage. But there's so many good options here, right? And, like, even at that, for raiding, you're probably not going to take Shield Charge. Unless there's ads. But this is something you're not going to play with very much. Does Ravager make people bleed? That is a good question. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Exactly, right? This is the niche of Ravager currently, is having that rage generation. If Ravager spreads and recasts it damage tick, that'd be way too OP. But right now with Blood and Thunder over here, where did I seen it somewhere? With over here, you're gonna hit Rend and hit Thunderclap, and then you're gonna be spreading Rends all over the place, which is gonna be fucking awesome. The only thing is Rend costs 30 rage. So I mean, a very quick opener is Shield Charge, Rend, Thunderclap. You've hit everything with Shield Charge. You hit your Rend, you hit your Rend, you hit Thunderclap, you spread all your Rends, and then you just start fucking going to town. It's like, The thing with Rend, though, is it is losing... Doesn't this on live currently for... it's an arms wearer talent. It increases your critical strike chance by 10%, I think? Zethro! How you doing, buddy? But no, have I been creaming my pants over this fucking talent tree? Absolutely. I love this thing so much.